Hi everyone, welcome back to my educational channel on biology. Teacher Janet here. In this video, we're going to discuss a balanced diet. Now every day, hungry humans everywhere face the same question and ask themselves this question: what to eat? What to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and tea break? So I would say this is a very important question as our decisions will affect the condition of our bodies, the health of our bodies. So let's find out about the good choices for carbohydrates, proteins and fats, and also the bad choices. And what do these types of foods do to our body? This will help us to maintain health if we make the right decisions to choose the right kind of foods to eat. It will help us to maintain health and also avoid diseases. So let's find out more about this. The learning standards for this video are as follows. After this lesson, we should be able to justify the modification of diets for individuals who experience obesity and also for those who experience a specific disease like diabetes mellitus, cardiovascular disease, or cancer. For this video, we'll focus mainly on obesity and also our Malaysian healthy plate, which is also called Pinggan Sihat Malaysia. Let's have a look at our concept map for Chapter 9, Nutrition and the Human Digestive System. So far, we have discussed the digestive system and the processes of digestion, absorption, assimilation, and defecation. So if you haven't viewed these videos, I would encourage you to view the videos shown here that are very complete and give a lot of explanations. Now, we are at this point here, balanced diet. We have already discussed the experiment to determine the energy value of different food samples. And here, for diet modifications for specific individuals, this topic tends to come out in the essay section. So it's very important for the coming SPM exams as it has not been tested yet. Okay, haven't been tested fully. So you may be asked to propose a diet modified from the Malaysian healthy plate or Pinggan Sihat Malaysia, right? Modified from that, that means you have to change a bit of the things that are used and the foods that are eaten for those who suffer from obesity to help them reduce weight, okay? And also those who suffer from diabetes, heart disease, or cancer. Now, for this video, we'll concentrate on diet modifications for individuals that suffer from or that have this problem of obesity, okay? So for the first section of this video, we are going to discuss the functions of the 7 food classes, which are carbohydrates, proteins, lipids or fats, vitamins, minerals, fiber, and water. Now, in Form 2, you have already studied about the various functions of all these food classes, okay? But here we are going to revise again because you're expected to know it even at Form 5 level. And this information about the 7 food classes and their functions will come in useful when you're explaining the diet modifications for the people who have different conditions, all right? Like those who are obese and those who suffer from cardiovascular disease and so forth, all right? So you need to know the functions of the 7 classes of food and also their sources. What are the healthy sources for these types of food? Where can we get these 7 classes of food from, right? Now, the memory tip here to remember these 7 food classes, which you will need to use when you explain your answer in the essay, okay, answers on nutrition. You will need to know these 7 classes of food and then just comment on each type. So our memory tip for the 7 classes of food is, wow, may we produce light flying car. So flying cars are a possibility in the future where the car can really fly in the air, right? And maybe there's a company that can produce the light, must be light because the car is flying in the air, it has to be light, right? Can produce the light flying car, right? So WA here stands for water, MI for minerals, VI for vitamins, L is for produce, pro is for proteins, L is for lipids, F for fiber, and CAR for carbohydrates. Okay. Now, some of you can already remember these 7 food classes very easily, so you don't need to use this memory tip. All right. Now, Then let's look at these food classes. We are going to look at the food classes and the sources, food sources, and also what happens if there's a deficiency in the food classes. Let's quickly review what we have discussed about a balanced diet in the previous video. So this topic of balanced diet is important for SPM. It can come up as an essay question, all right, where you may be asked to modify the diet for a person suffering from diabetes mellitus or cardiovascular disease or from obesity and so forth. Okay, so this is a Solan Ramalan and hasn't been tested in the exam yet. Now, energy value in a food sample. First, we have to be able to define a balanced diet. It refers to a diet that consists of all the 7 food classes: carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, vitamins, minerals, salts, fiber, and water, as shown here. All right, in the correct proportions and balanced quantity. That means not too little or not too much, according to individual needs. Okay, so the balanced diet for a healthy individual will differ from those that are suffering from diabetes mellitus or cancer, right? So the optimal health can be maintained for those who are healthy. Now, importance of a balanced diet: to supply enough energy for daily activities, to ensure healthy growth and development in children, to maintain optimal health for the body to function effectively, and to prevent infections, deficiency diseases, and chronic diseases. So in the previous video, we've discussed the function of the 3 main food classes: carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids, and also the healthy sources for them, right? So carbohydrates, just to recap, serve as a source, act as a source of energy, immediate energy. For example, glucose, right? A source of energy. And the glycogen is a carbohydrate that is an energy reserve or food stored in the liver or muscles. Proteins are important for growth and repair of damaged tissues, and they are also used to synthesize enzymes, hormones, antibodies, and hemoglobin. Think of HEA, okay? H for hormones, E for enzymes, A for antibodies, and H for hemoglobin. Lipids are used to provide energy, and they act as energy reserves. Okay, they are stored in the skin as adipose, in the adipose tissue. So they help to insulate the body against the cold by preventing heat loss from the body. So lipids are important because they are solvents for vitamins A, D, E, K. So they help in the absorption. They help to dissolve these vitamins and then help in the absorption of vitamins A, D, E, K into the body. That's why we need to have lipids in our diet. Okay, so the healthy sources of all these food classes will be discussed again later on, right? Next, fiber. Why is fiber so important? That's always emphasized nowadays. Fiber functions to stimulate peristalsis in the intestines, in the intestinal tract, in order to move the food or the waste along the intestines. So it's very important to prevent constipation. And also it helps to lower the cholesterol levels and regulate the blood sugar levels so that the blood sugar levels do not increase so suddenly, okay? And increase in the, and this may affect the condition of those with diabetes mellitus. Sources of fiber are vegetables, fruits, and bran. Bran is the outer covering of the cereals. So it's found in the unpolished rice like brown rice and so forth. Water. Water acts as the medium for biochemical reactions in cells, and it's the medium of transport of nutrients as it is found in the blood. Okay, it makes up a big portion of the blood, which transports substances. Water helps to regulate body temperature because the sweat that is produced when a person is hot, okay, will a lot of sweat will be produced so that the water from the sweat evaporates when it absorbs the heat from the body, right? And then when the water evaporates, it will cool down the body. So sources of water are just like plain water, plain fresh water, fruit juice, milk, barley drink. Okay, all these provide water, and even soup. Okay, soups can also provide water. Vitamins and minerals are needed in small amounts to maintain health. Let's look at the next slide. So some students have asked whether they need to remember the functions of vitamins and minerals and the deficiency diseases and food sources, because all these were studied in Form 2 and it's not mentioned in the Form 4 textbook. So I believe that you still need to know the functions and deficiencies and food sources of the various vitamins and minerals, right? Because you may be using these facts to answer essay questions, right? Give justification why you propose a certain food for the diet. All right, so let's go through it very quickly. Vitamin A forms the pigment for vision in the eye and promotes night vision. It also maintains healthy skin and helps the body to fight diseases. So deficiency in this vitamin causes night blindness, where the person is not able to see clearly in the semi-darkness, right? And this is because the vitamin A is important for the formation of the pigment in the eye, right? The vision pigment for vision in the eye. Now, if you notice, some skincare products also include vitamin A, okay, in their products, sometimes known as retinol, right? This is because vitamin A promotes healthy skin, okay? So lack of it causes dry, scaly skin. Food sources are milk, egg yolk, fish oil, carrots, and spinach. So carrots have a beta-carotene which can be converted into vitamin A when it is eaten. Now, vitamin B maintains the healthy functioning of the nervous system, and B12 is important for formation of red blood cells. So vitamin B is a group of vitamins, okay, ranging from vitamin B1 to B12. So deficiency in vitamin B1 causes beriberi, and deficiency in vitamin B12 causes anemia, where there is a lack of red blood cells or lack of hemoglobin in the blood. So food sources are yeast, liver, and eggs. Vitamin C maintains healthy gums and skin and boosts immunity. It aids collagen formation. So collagen is a protein that's found in the skin, right? So vitamin C is also important to maintain healthy skin. Now, deficiency will cause scurvy. One of the symptoms of scurvy are the swollen, bleeding gums. Okay, gums start to bleed and swell up, and sometimes the teeth may drop out. So this is a sign of can be a sign of lack of vitamin C. Okay, scurvy. So this is quite important. Now, oranges and other citrus fruits like lemons and limes have a lot of vitamin C. So does papaya, tomato, and also guava, right? Now, vitamin D helps in the absorption of calcium and phosphorus in the body in order to build strong bones and teeth. So even if a person takes a lot of calcium and phosphorus, but doesn't have enough vitamin D in his diet, this calcium and phosphorus will not be absorbed into the body. Okay, so vitamin D is important for the absorption of calcium and phosphorus into the body. Deficiency will cause rickets, and one of the symptoms of rickets are weak, deformed bones. Right? So rickets cause the weak, deformed bones until the bones will start to cannot support the weight of the body, and then the bones will bend. Okay. Now, food sources are milk, eggs, cod liver oil, and vitamin D is different from other vitamins because it can be produced by us. Okay, when the skin is exposed to sunlight. So vitamin E maintains functions of the reproductive system. It is an antioxidant that helps to neutralize the harmful free radicals in the body. So free radicals are substances that are harmful to the body and can cause certain diseases like cancer. So eating enough antioxidants will help us to neutralize these harmful free radicals and prevent certain diseases. So other than vitamin E, vitamin C and vitamin A, ACE they are all called antioxidants. All right, so they're very good for neutralizing the harmful free radicals in the body. Lack of vitamin E causes sterility, that means unable to have children, and miscarriage, where the fetus may drop and come out from the uterus, right? Come out from the body of the pregnant lady. Food sources are green vegetables. Vitamin K is very important for blood clotting process. So if a person lacks vitamin K, he can experience prolonged bleeding at a cut or wound. Food sources of vitamin K are milk, egg yolk, and fish oil. So here are 3 symptoms caused by deficiency in vitamins and minerals. Can you tell what the name of these diseases are? For example, for this one, what's the name of the disease that has this symptom? Yes, it's scurvy. So here you can see swollen, bleeding gums, and some of the teeth have dropped out, okay, dropped off. So how about this symptom? Knock knees and bow legs. Yes, it's a symptom of rickets, right? Where the bones are too weak to support the weight of the body. So here we can see that the knees tend to come together here, all right? And the bones have already been deformed to have this shape, right? So it's called knock knees because the knees come together. And for bow legs, the knees are separated, okay, bent apart from each other, right? And then here for the third symptom, this is a symptom of what disease? Goiter, right? Okay, goiter. So in goiter, the thyroid gland will enlarge, right? And when it swells up, you see the swelling on the neck like that, all right? So thyroid gland is attached or near to the uh, trachea, and here we can see the thyroid gland is enlarged, right? So this is a symptom of goiter and is caused by a lack of what mineral? Iodine. Okay, so let's have a look at the notes at the top here. A lack of vitamin C causes scurvy. The symptoms are swollen, bleeding gums, right? A lack of vitamin D, calcium, or phosphorus causes rickets. Symptoms are weak, deformed bones. Okay, conditions here are knock knees or bow legs. We just mentioned weak, deformed bones and rickets. Lack of iodine, a mineral, causes goiter, which is caused by which has the symptom of the swollen thyroid gland on the neck. So let's continue with the minerals. Calcium is important for the formation of strong bones and teeth and helps in the blood clotting process. So deficiency in calcium will cause rickets in children, characterized by the weak deformed bones and osteoporosis in adults. That is a loss of bone mass, okay? And this will cause the adults to have bones that are brittle and break easily. Food sources of calcium are milk, anchovies or ikan bilis, yogurt, and almonds. So phosphorus is also important for the formation of strong bones and teeth, just like calcium, and it's a component of nucleic acids, that is DNA and RNA. So we know in DNA and RNA, the basic unit is called the nucleotide, and inside the nucleotide, there is a phosphate group, okay? So deficiency in phosphorus causes rickets, just like for calcium. Food sources are cheese, meat, and eggs. Iron is needed for the synthesis of hemoglobin, which is a pigment that can carry oxygen, right? That can bind to oxygen in the red blood cells. So deficiency in iron causes anemia, and the symptoms of anemia are lack of red blood cells or lack of hemoglobin in the red blood cells. Food sources for iron are spinach, meat, and liver. Iodine is needed for the synthesis of the hormone thyroxine in the thyroid gland in the neck. So deficiency in iodine causes goiter. The symptom is a swollen thyroid gland. Okay, so the neck will look swollen. Now, sources of iodine are seafood, seaweed, okay, and some other types of food. So for potassium helps in muscle contraction and helps in the functioning of the nervous system. Lack of potassium causes muscle cramps. And food sources of potassium are meat, fish, milk, and also bananas. Sodium. Sodium is important to maintain the function of the nervous system, like for potassium. So a lack of it also can cause muscle cramps, right? So sodium is found in salt. Sodium chloride is salt, and then meat. So you can see here that for potassium and sodium, one way to stop cramps, right, especially cramps that occur in athletes or those who exercise and then sweat a lot, is to drink fluids containing these nutrients, these minerals, or electrolytes. We call them electrolytes. That is those drinks or fluids that contain potassium and sodium. All right. So it's something like what we call an electrolyte drink. Okay, and by drinking these fluids, you replace the sodium that is lost through sweating, so it can also stop the muscle cramp. We've already discussed the 7 classes of foods, their functions, and the food sources. Now let's find out what are the good and bad carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, so we can make wise choices when it comes to our meal times. And also we can avoid certain carbohydrates, proteins, and fats that are harmful or eat them more sparingly. So every day we face the same question of what to eat during our meal times. So let's discuss what the healthy choices are for the various classes of food like carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And also, what are the foods that we should avoid or eat sparingly, all right? So the following discussion is not meant to give medical advice for medical conditions, but it is to fulfill the requirements of our syllabus so that we can write a good essay answer, okay, especially when it comes to questions of a diet for a specific condition for different types of persons, right? So we need to know some of these facts to write in for our essay answers. Let's start with the carbohydrates. So healthy choices for carbohydrates are the whole grain foods such as whole grain bread or wholemeal bread, brown rice, oats, quinoa, this is pronounced quinoa. So all these foods are actually whole grain foods where the bran, the outer layer of the seed, and the germ, the inner part of the seed, are still retained inside the grain, right? So that gives them the brownish color, right? And these parts are the bran and the germ of the seed provide a lot of nutrients, and the bran contains a lot of fiber. Okay, the outer coat of the seed contains a lot of fiber. So the whole grain foods provide complex carbohydrates or starch, more fiber than those that are refined. Okay, so the refined grains are like those are like white rice and the white flour that is used to make white bread and so forth, right? So these whole grain foods provide more fiber, more vitamins, and sustained energy. That means the energy will last for a longer period of time than white bread or rice or white rice. So they are more slowly digested due to their higher fiber content. And when they digested to form sugars, the sugars will be formed more slowly. So this slows down absorption of the sugar into the blood, and it will keep the blood sugar at low levels for a longer period of time. There will be no sudden spike or increase in the blood sugar levels as is seen when white rice or white bread is eaten, right? When the refined carbohydrates are eaten. So in this way, it's helpful for people who want to prevent diabetes mellitus, and even for diabetic patients also. If they want to keep their blood sugar low, they have to eat more of these whole grain foods rather than the refined carbohydrates like white rice and white bread. Furthermore, fiber keeps a person full for a longer period of time. Okay, so it can help a person to stay full so that the person will not keep on snacking or taking eating tidbits in between meal times and so forth. So it can help a person to control his or her weight and prevent obesity. Okay, so here we see wholemeal bread or whole grain bread, where the wheat, the whole seed of the wheat is used. Okay, together the bran and the germ. And then these are oats. Now, foods to avoid. Avoid white rice, white bread, cakes and sweet sugary foods. Okay, they're also made from refined flour. Now, all these lack fiber. Okay, they lack fiber and they are easily digested, more easily digested than the whole grain foods. So when they are digested to form the sugars will quickly be absorbed into the blood. So this will quickly raise the blood sugar levels. Okay, and this is not good over long term, because high sugar levels are very bad for health, and it can increase the risk of diabetes mellitus, of a person getting diabetes mellitus. Okay, so eat all these foods, the refined carbohydrates sparingly. So healthy choices for proteins are the lean proteins such as chicken and fish, and also plant proteins such as tofu, legumes or beans, and nuts. So proteins are needed and used for the repair and building of new tissues and new tissues especially, to build the muscle mass. It's also used for the synthesis of hormones, enzymes, antibodies, and hemoglobin. So some good sources of proteins are shown here. Even eggs, the egg white is a good source of protein, and nuts and beans are shown here, okay, together with fish like salmon, right? So here we see salmon, grilled salmon cooked with long beans or French beans, all right? So these are two good sources of proteins. Now, what are the proteins to avoid? Firstly, do not eat proteins together with the fatty meat, the fatty substances, all right? So remove the fat from the meat, and for example, chicken. When we're going to cook the chicken, remove the fatty parts that are attached to the skin, right? You can also eat the chicken meat without the chicken skin. And avoid processed meats like sausages and canned meats that contain additives, toxic additives, and preservatives. So preserved meat like sausages, like in the hot dogs, and then in the uh, burgers, if the burgers are preserved, the meat are preserved, okay, and other types of preserved meats, they usually contain preservatives, so that's not good for health, okay, and even canned meat. So eat this sparingly. Eat this sparingly and eat more of the healthy choices of proteins. So for fats, what are the healthy choices? Avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil all contain the healthy fats or the unsaturated fats, which do not raise the cholesterol levels of the blood, and they help in the absorption of the fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K into the body. Now, what are the fats to avoid? Avoid the saturated fats, such as the animal fats and butter, which can raise the cholesterol levels, and then the cholesterol will be deposited in the arteries, and you'll block the arteries, causing heart attack and stroke in the long run. Okay, so avoid the saturated fats and try to eat the unsaturated fats from the food sources like avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil especially, right? Now for vitamins and minerals, healthy choices are the colorful fruits and vegetables, such as guava, papaya, tomatoes. Those are the fruits. And then for vegetables, broccoli, cabbage, carrots, green leafy vegetables, and so forth. So these help to provide vitamins, minerals, and fiber to help fight infection by strengthening the immune system. And for children, it is important for normal growth and development. Fiber also prevents constipation, stimulates peristalsis, lowers the blood cholesterol level, and regulates the blood sugar level, right? So we need to avoid sweetened fruit juices or the commercialized fruit juices that are sweetened, right? Because they contain too much sugar, which is not good for health. Here's a hot question for this chapter. Whole grain versus refined grain. What's the difference, right? Now, from outside, you can see the color is different. Whole grain foods usually are brownish in color, okay? And the refined grain foods made from refined grains, are usually whitish in color. So what's the difference between whole grain and refined grain? So grains are seeds that are made up of three parts. The bran, which is the outermost layer, and then the endosperm, the middle layer, and the germ, which is the inner core, okay? So whole grains, as the name suggests, whole, it means that they have all the three parts. These three parts were not removed from the grain, okay, during processing. But for refined grains, they have undergone some processing, and the bran and germ has been removed, leaving only the endosperm, okay, which is shown here. All right. So both whole grain and refined grain have the endosperm, but the whole grain has something more. The whole grain has bran, which is the outermost layer, and the germ. All right. So let's see what are the nutrients in the bran and germ that are missing in the refined grains. Okay. The bran is the outermost layer of the grain. It is full of fiber, B vitamins, and minerals. So it's very nutritious because it has the vitamins, minerals, and also the fiber plays an important role in the health of humans, right? Now, germ. The germ is the nutritious part too. It is the inner core of the grain. It is packed with B vitamins, vitamin E, healthy fats, and also phytochemicals and antioxidants, right? So these two parts are missing from the refined grain. That's why whole grain is more nutritious than refined grain, because whole grain has the bran and the germ, which is full of nutrients. So let's find out more about whole grains, because it can be tested as a hot question in the SPM, right? So types of whole grains: oats, whole wheat bread, or wholemeal bread, they are the same thing. Barley, brown rice, and quinoa. Quinoa is a grain from South America, right? Countries like Peru produce quinoa. So we have oats here, wholemeal bread, and brown rice. And for the refined grains, here we have white rice and white bread that is produced from the white flour. Okay, so the refined grains are usually whiter in color due to the endosperm, and the whole grains are actually brownish in color, right? So what are the benefits of whole grains? Overall, whole grain foods are more nutritious compared to refined grains, right? So benefits of the whole grain foods is that they provide more nutrients like more fiber, vitamins like vitamin B and E, and then minerals and other nutrients. So they help to control the level of cholesterol in the blood and also control blood pressure. How do they control the level of cholesterol? The fiber is thought to bind to the cholesterol, or the cholesterol to the fiber, and then because fiber is not digested, it will be passed out in the feces after that, together with the cholesterol. Now, whole grains help to control weight and prevent obesity, help to control body weight because of the fiber too. Okay, now the fiber makes the whole grain foods not digested so quickly, not so easily digested. So you keep the person feeling full for a longer period of time, and they won't feel so hungry so fast. Okay, so that can help to control weight and prevent the person from eating food too frequently. So it can prevent obesity. The whole grain foods that contain fiber also help to lower the risk of diabetes and heart disease. Okay, because they control the cholesterol levels, they lower the cholesterol levels. They can help to prevent heart disease, it can help to prevent the deposition of cholesterol in the arteries. Now, how does the whole grain food help to lower the risk of diabetes? All right, so when the whole grain foods are digested, they are digested more slowly compared to the refined grains. We say that they have a lower glycemic index because they do not cause a spike or a sudden rise in the blood sugar level, because they are digested slowly, so the sugars formed are released more slowly into the blood. Okay, compared to refined grains, which can cause a spike in the sugar level because they are digested much faster due to the the smaller content of fiber, right, in them, or the lack of fiber in them. So they are digested very fast, and this will cause the production of sugars, the end product, very fast, and then it will cause a sudden increase in the blood sugar level. Okay, so eating whole grain foods will cause the sugars produced to be released slowly into the blood, and this will help to regulate the blood glucose levels. So it reduces the risk of diabetes mellitus. So it is recommended that at least half of all the grains eaten daily by a person be the whole grains. Okay, so brown rice is usually recommended in a diet like this, but lately it has been reported in 2014 it was reported that arsenic is found in brown rice and also white rice, but more in brown rice because it's found in the more in the bran, the outermost layer of the rice, okay, which is in brown rice. So some suggestions are that we should eat the brown rice moderately, and white rice too, which has some arsenic also, but less. And wash the rice well with lots of water before cooking to remove some of the arsenic, which is a toxin. Or soak the brown rice in water for some time, like 30 minutes, to get rid of these unwanted substances, okay, like arsenic and also pesticides and also some other unwanted substances before cooking. It will also cause the brown rice to be cooked in a faster time. Okay. So next we come to Pinggan Sihat Malaysia, or the Malaysian Healthy Plate. And the code here, or the important phrase, is quarter, quarter, half, QQH. Okay, let's see what's QQH. Now it means that if we have a sort of 9 or 10 inch in diameter plate, a plate that's 9 or 10 inch in diameter, quite a big plate, dinner plate, then we should fill a quarter of the plate with proteins, a quarter of the plate with carbohydrates, and half the plate with vegetables and fruits, as seen here. So it's like a visual representation of the three types of foods, the classes of food, like proteins, carbohydrates, and then vitamins and minerals that are found in the vegetables and fruits. And of course, we must have also water, right? We need water too. So the Malaysian Healthy Plate, or Pinggan Sihat Malaysia, we can use this word now in the exam because it's stated in the textbook, Pinggan Sihat Malaysia. Right? Think of quarter, quarter, half. Quarter protein, quarter carbohydrates, half vegetables and fruits on our plate. Okay, so diet modifications for specific individuals. A balanced diet for each individual will vary or differ according to the lifestyle, health conditions, and specific nutritional needs. Okay, for example, children will have different needs from adults, right? Children who are developing and growing. will have different needs from adults that are already grown, and adults have other nutritional needs, right? So suggestions for nutritional needs can be based on Pinggan Sihat Malaysia. What is Pinggan Sihat Malaysia? A food guide, visual guide that shows the relative quantities of the various food classes like carbohydrates, all right, proteins, vitamins and minerals, okay, on a plate on the plate that we're eating. And all this should be eaten as a part of the balanced diet. Okay, so for lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we must make sure that our plate resembles like this one shown here. Okay, quarter of it should be filled with carbohydrates, quarter of it should be filled with protein, and half of the plate should be filled with vegetables and fruits. All right, so mostly for most people, the food that's lacking are the vegetables and fruits, right? And there tends to be a lot more of the carbohydrates, too much carbohydrates. So we got to change that. If our plate doesn't resemble the Pinggan Sihat Malaysia, right? So excessive food intake that is rich in saturated fats can cause obesity and cardiovascular diseases. We'll come to that later. So in this question, we're asked to justify the Pinggan Sihat Malaysia diet plan. 8 marks. This can be asked as an essay question. Okay, so this is a soalan ramalan. Now, when you want to justify the diet plan, it means that you have to give explanations for why it is so. Okay, what are the benefits of this diet plan? So start with the quarter. So the plate is filled with a quarter of the plate is filled with carbohydrates. Right? Examples are of the healthy carbohydrates are brown rice, whole wheat, meal bread, and oats. Now, brown rice is touted as a good alternative to white rice, but brown rice also has some uh, disadvantages in that it does absorb up some arsenic, all right, according to some sources. So it's best to soak the brown rice for say 20-30 minutes before eating it. All right, so you can find out more about brown rice from the internet. Read up on it, and if I'm not mistaken, all right, it's better to soak the rice for a while first. Wholemeal bread and oats also, all these are less refined carbohydrates which provide fiber and other nutrients like vitamin B, right? So the function as a source of energy, B vitamins, minerals, and fiber. And the fiber stimulates peristalsis, prevents constipation, lowers cholesterol levels. You can also mention the use of the B vitamins to provide energy, right, for activities. Now, quarter protein. Why quarter protein? So protein is found in fish, lean, chicken meat, beans, nuts, and eggs. These are the better choices for proteins without the fats. Function is to build new cells for growth and repair of tissues, to produce hormones, enzymes, antibodies, and also hemoglobin. Thirdly, why half vegetables and fruits? Start with the vegetables. Vegetables that can be eaten are tomatoes, broccoli, carrot, and the green vegetables, all right, like spinach and mustard and so forth. Now the function, as a source of fiber, vitamins and minerals, okay, and vegetables contain all this and they boost the immune system, help the person to fight infection, and for children it's very important for normal growth and development, and it helps to prevent deficiency diseases like scurvy. So you can give one example, okay, for example, lack of vitamin C can cause scurvy, where there are swollen bleeding gums. So eating vegetables that contain vitamin C like tomatoes are important, all right, to help prevent scurvy. And for carrots, we can eat carrots to prevent night blindness, okay, which is caused by a lack of vitamin A, because carrots contain something that can be converted to vitamin A when it's eaten, right? Now, half fruits. So what are fruits for? Now, examples are bananas, guava, papaya, watermelon, the local fruits, and also oranges, right, lime, and so forth. Function, as a source of fiber, vitamins, and minerals, helps to boost the immune system for normal growth and development of children, and it helps to prevent deficiency diseases like scurvy and night blindness. Okay, scurvy is caused by a lack of vitamin C, night blindness caused by a lack of vitamin A. Okay, so you can give examples. Like guava contains a lot of vitamin C that can help to prevent scurvy, right? Swollen bleeding gums. So this is how you justify the Pinggan Sihat Malaysia diet plan. All right, give examples and then state the function of the various components that are proposed in the Pinggan Sihat diet, Pinggan Sihat Malaysia diet plan. Okay. Now here you notice that lipids or fats are not mentioned because they assume that lipids or fats which are needed in very small quantities are already found in the fish or the food that's cooked. Okay. So you must use a good oil to cook the food, and that is the olive oil that is suitable for frying. Okay, there are two types of olive oil. One is the extra virgin olive oil that can be eaten as it is, and then the other one for cooking, we use another type of olive oil that is suitable for cooking. Now let's discuss the diet plan for obese people or very fat people. So this can be asked in the exam as an essay question. Okay, this is like a soalan ramalan. Now, diet for obese people. Obesity is caused by the storage of excess fats as a result of imbalanced food intake and use of energy. Okay, so a person is obese because he takes in, she or he eats too much of the fats or carbohydrates, and then these are converted to be stored as the adipose tissue under the skin. Okay, so it'll make the person put on weight and grow fatter. That means there's imbalanced food intake and use of energy. There's an imbalance there. That means too much food intake and less use of energy. So that leads to the excess fats being formed and stored in the body. So this will cause the person to put on weight. Now, diet. Individuals who are obese need to reduce the intake of carbohydrates and fats and increase the intake of vegetables and fruits, which contain fiber. All right, which can help the person feel full for a longer period of time. Effects of obesity. A diet containing excessive saturated fats and high cholesterol, okay, may cause diabetes mellitus, cardiovascular diseases like arteriosclerosis and hypertension. Okay, we'll come to this term later on. Arteriosclerosis is a condition where there are deposits of cholesterol in the blood vessels, like the arteries, that will block the flow of blood in the arteries. Okay, hypertension means high blood pressure, which may result in heart attacks. The scientific name is myocardial infarction. And stroke. Stroke is caused by blocked arteries in the brain. All right. Now we're ready to discuss this question. Suggest a healthy eating plan for an obese woman based on Pinggan Sihat Malaysia to help her reduce her weight. So obese means a very fat person. So you're supposed to suggest a healthy eating plan for an obese woman based on Pinggan Sihat Malaysia. So you have to mention this Pinggan Sihat Malaysia, right, in your answer to help her reduce her weight. 8 marks or maybe 10 marks. Okay, so this is a soalan ramalan. Number one, based on the Pinggan Sihat Malaysia, this obese woman should eat balanced meals. Okay, according to the Pinggan Sihat Malaysia. Where, according to Pinggan Sihat Malaysia, there's a quarter of the plate is filled with lean proteins. Okay, for example, the fish here. A quarter of the plate is filled with carbohydrates. Okay, for example, the rice here. And then the carbohydrates like the whole grains. So this is a better example of the good carbohydrates, right? The whole grains, which is unrefined, and still has the bran and the germ in it. Then half the plate is filled with fruits and vegetables, which provide vitamins and minerals. Okay, so it's called quarter, quarter, half. So the diet that you are planning aims to help the person reduce weight to a healthy level. So how to do that? First, advise the woman to reduce intake of carbohydrates and fats, as the excess fats and carbohydrates are stored in the adipose tissue and increases the weight of the person, right? So it's stored as adipose tissue. As the adipose tissue becomes thicker and thicker, then the body weight will become more. Now, the second fact is low-calorie food intake is recommended. So choose those foods that contain low calories, less calories, okay? For example, non-oily food. This will help the person lose weight. So, such as steamed, oily, non-oily fish and chicken. Don't put too much oil, okay? But you must have some oil for absorption of vitamins A, D, E, K, right? Now, this is the steamed, non-oily fish, and here is chicken. Then avoid the oily or sweet food like cakes and deep fried chicken. Okay, avoid the oily food. So here you notice you have F and then you have E. So the F is the fact and the E is the elaboration, the explanation. Okay, so maybe you can give the one F and then one E together with it. Okay, or two E's also can. Next, carbohydrates. So for carbohydrates, she is advised to eat the whole grains like brown rice and oats, which contain more fiber and nutrients to provide energy for daily activities. So that's the importance of carbohydrates. And then why choose the brown rice and oats and wholemeal bread? These are less processed cereals, and they contain more fiber and nutrients, right? Because the bran and the germ part has not been removed. So avoid processed foods such as and also those with high fat content, the sugary foods or the fast foods. Why? So examples are cakes, sweets, and cookies, as they may contain empty calories and less nutrients. Okay, so empty calories here means that they provide the calories but for energy, but they don't have so many nutrients like vitamins B or whatsoever. So they are not so good as sources of carbohydrates. For proteins, a high protein and low fat diet is advised. And always remove the skin and fat from the animal meat before cooking or eating. So we are advised to eat the woman is advised to eat lean proteins such as fish and chicken, and plant proteins such as beans and nuts. So should not get those animal meats that have a lot of protein but also a lot of fat. Now, proteins help to build and maintain muscle mass while the woman is losing weight. Okay, so this is the function of proteins. Even when the person is trying to lose weight, she must eat enough proteins in order to build and maintain her muscle mass. If not, the muscle will become smaller and smaller. Okay. Next are the lipids or fats. So do obese people need to eat lipids or fats? Now, for obese people, they need to use the plant oils, which are the unsaturated oils, right? Or unsaturated fats, and they are healthy fats. Use them in cooking to replace any animal fats or butter that's used in cooking, right? Cannot cook using butter anymore. So examples of these plant oils that are healthy are the olive oil, and also avocados and nuts can be eaten to provide some healthy fats to replace the saturated fats in butter and animal fats, which can cause high cholesterol level. Okay, so why do you need to eat the healthy fats? Is to help in the absorption of vitamins A, D, E, K into the body. Okay, now then for fruits and vegetables, the obese woman is advised to eat more vegetables, fruits, and other high fiber foods. Examples are spinach, orange, papaya, bananas, which contain vitamins A and C and other vitamins and also minerals. So the rationale behind it, or the justification is needed to maintain good health and prevent deficiency diseases like night blindness, which is caused by deficiency in vitamin A, and scurvy caused by a deficiency in vitamin C. Okay, deficiency in vitamin C. Lastly, let's not forget water. Water is also a food class. So we should drink about 2 liters of water daily, around 8 cups. Now this depends on the individual also, right? The height and the weight of the individual, right? And then we can obtain water also from sources like soup, barley drink, fruit juice, to stay hydrated and maintain health. Okay, this is the reason why. So water is needed as a medium for biochemical reactions in the cells and as a transport medium, for example, in blood, right? So this is the justification for drinking enough water. And we also should avoid the sweetened drinks to reduce our calorie intake, right? So here's the whole answer for this question on a healthy diet plan for an obese woman, right? So all these points have been discussed just now in the previous slides. You can copy this answer down if you want. So that's all for this lesson. Thanks for viewing, and please do share, like, and subscribe to my channel. So more videos will be coming up, God willing, on the various topics in the Form 4 syllabus and also Form 5 syllabus. Goodbye for now.